All right. This is
Oh.
Rogue Empire.
Right. What's the soul essence button do?
What?
What does the soul essence button do?
I don't remember, to be honest. So
It's
this
kind of weird. Does this like take place before like the Sith and the Jedi or something, or like what's going on?
You know,
yes. This
game
is an
kind of
extended
reminds-
universe.
This
Star
game
Wars
kind of
game?
reminds me of an old game I played like a long time ago. It was called
Rogue?
Rogue. Yeah, it seems a little bit like Rogue. Would you care to elaborate on that?
Anyway, okay, so this game is so this playthrough I'm about 12 levels in, and I'm already
Okay.
I'm already set up and stuff.
It's further than I get in any roguelike I've ever played.
This is my like third run, I think. The first run I actually died. The second run I did that thing where you mashed wait over and over again while waiting for a cooldown to come back, and then an enemy came by and just killed me while I was mashing spacebar.
Yeah, understandable.
So of all
That's
of like
why roguelikes should have a dedicated wait until an enemy shows up button.
no, there
every
is.
time.
There's a rest key. I just wasn't pushing it.
Damn it, Saine!
Because I was like, if you use rest, then it rests until your health is back. But if you use wait, then
you can just wait for the cooldown.
right.
I kind of like the aesthetic of this game. Like, it looks. Oh man, what's like the best way to describe this? It looks like an old PC game.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it reminds me of like the aesthetic reminds me of like Diablo 1 or something.
Yeah, a little bit of Diablo 1, a little bit. I played this game. It was one of like I had like this collection of fucking Monolith games. It was called Get Medieval, and it kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question.
Sure.
I see that you have like a flail and like a little Marco hoodie and a freaking shield. Are those actually items you're carrying, or is that just like a tile that your character has?
The only ones that show up on the characters are weapons.
Okay.
Everything else is like that's just what the character looks like. I'm playing a cat person assassin.
Of course, naturally.
I'll show. I later on I'll show more of the different like races or whatever. There's actually it's more interesting than most.
Okay.
But other than that, like this is probably the most roguelike I've ever played, if that makes any
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Now, does this game have unlockables, or do you just kind of start with whatever you want and go crazy?
Oh, there's the stars for Star Wars. There they are in the corner there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that that soul essence thing, I think there might be a little bit something to that. I don't remember what exactly it does. I think maybe it unlocks something. I don't actually remember. I didn't even look at that. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh, here I'm actually resting for real.
What? Okay, I got. Now I'm really confused. What is that yellow bar that is continually filling up while you rest?
So the yellow is energy, and actually normally that's not displayed, but I have a weapon that does stamina damage. So
Okay.
I want to see that, but basically everything you do adds to your stamina, and when you hit whatever your maximum speed is, your turn ends. So it's like attacking costs like 1,000 stamina, right? So
Okay.
yeah, so that's sort of how it determines who gets to move as often. It's not like the standard roguelike where everyone moves at once. It's more like everyone moves relative to how much speed they have.
Right.
But everybody,
That's-
like, typically everyone would move in the same turn just because typically the speed is the same. It just means that
Right.
for certain characters you can get your speed up really high.
Okay.
And actually,
it's
I'm
kinda
playing
like
an
a-
assassin where speed actually makes a difference, but...
It's kind of like I've seen roguelikes like that, like Tales of Maj'Al and Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead both have like a one turn is 100 moves, but sometimes actions will take more or less than 100 moves.
Yeah, it is that
Yeah.
essentially. And I think
Okay.
that's mainly just a way to balance out like bosses and stuff. Because
Right.
as we know from action economy in various
It's the
games,
action economy. Good old Dungeons and Dragons.
enemies will just get spanked if you can move way more than them, or if there's
Oh,
more
yeah.
of you than there are of them. And this game definitely has
Yeah.
stuff like summons, and
Yeah.
like, so there's a lot of things that you can kind of do. I'm playing an assassin, which I'm sort of a martial class, but I also have like stealth mechanics. There's also like a mage class and a druid class. So there's like, my character just straight up can't learn spells, which is kind of atypical for games like this, but the classes
lot of
actually
times-
matter way more than they do in other games, I think.
Yeah, a lot of times you can go into like cross-classing, even like Stone Super Net Hack, it'll let you like learn stuff that your initial starting class wouldn't normally be able to. But
Yeah, and in this game, it's very much like one of the things that being a different class does is change what stuff you get. So
okay.
yeah,
I mean, that's cool. That's refreshing. Not every roguelike has to have
yeah.
cross-classing.
Well,
or-
I mean, it almost gives it more replayability because it's like, oh, maybe next time I'll play a mage because, you know, I never learned spells on this character. I wonder how fun it would be to do that. You can still get wands and use wands, and I have a couple there on my hotbar. I mainly use them for healing myself.
Is the wand
Yeah,
hot
did the ice
Z?
It's F1.
Damn it.
See, it's on my bar. You can see it right now.
Oh, okay. You have configurable hotkeys because this is a
Modern video game.
computer game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like one, but it is one.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You see, whenever I have a wand in my hand, I want to press Z for zap.
Okay.
It's just how old roguelikes are, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Z is the zap button.
this game
You
is
use that to
actually
zap your wand.
like really approachable, like for a new player. It has lots of tutorials that like are good tutorials. They're not just shitty tutorials.
Oh man.
Like if you need to know what any of the keys do that you might want, like you can, they have like a control page. But also like any if you play a decent amount of roguelikes, a lot of the things will make sense. Like immediately I started using the numpad. 5 is weight, you know, the arrow keys, the directional. This game even lets you, if you want to use the arrow keys instead, it lets you do the thing where you can push left and right at the same time to go diagonal right. But in
nice.
my experience, that will get you killed. So I prefer the numpad. Because if you accidentally push down before right, you'll go down. So,
Yeah.
Right. Well, I like it that, like, you can. A lot of roguelikes that come out nowadays have that, you know, where you can, take your old roguelike knowledge and just pick up and play, or you can just customize it however the fuck you want, because it might be your first roguelike and this is how you're gonna learn how to play them.
right.
Yeah.
I think this one is a nice like middle ground between Dungeons of Dredmor, which is probably the most approachable roguelike that I've ever played,
Easily.
and then but something more like NetHack, where it has some of those options, but it doesn't like. It's when you play NetHack, you don't know how to do anything. You know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what the scribe Elberath into the ground to rest and be safe from enemies? What, that doesn't even make any sense. I
Yeah.
learned that on a statue in level 15. Fuck, how?
You know, and there's definitely like benefits to that, but I don't know. So this game also has mouse support, which is like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Because if I wanted to, I could click everything. You could click pretty much everything, I think.
Right.
One thing that's annoying for me, though, is because I'm so used to other roguelikes, I mainly use the numpad, but ranged attacks, you push T to, like, auto-target, but sometimes it decides that it's targeting where your mouse is.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why that would be a little annoying.
Yeah. The game also has monster zoos. It doesn't.
Ah, Monster Zoo.
It doesn't. See there, I just attacked the barrel behind me, and now for whatever reason, my mouse is like deciding that that's what I'm using to attack with,
Yeah.
and I don't really know why it does that.
What I usually do when it has mouse and keyboard support in a roguelike is I will use the mouse for my inventory and the keyboard for literally everything
Yeah,
else,
which is why I haven't disabled the mouse.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
you can
because
disable the mouse in the options, but
you want to use the mouse to pick your contemplation here, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you level up, you get a random contemplation, which gives you stats in addition to whatever just normal stats you get. And then also occasionally they give you like a perk card.
Ooh.
So if you
Like
look at my
Fallout
I'm down on
76.
yes, like Fallout 76.
Everybody's favorite video game.
If you look at my hotbar down here, I'm actually changing to a different character just as I started talking about it. Like I had lockpick and like this thing that makes you dodge and stuff. Those are all like abilities that I got from leveling up. So
Saine.
So here are the races. Venetian are the cat people.
Oh,
And I don't, and then Otwak or whatever are like Sylvari, they're like tree people.
Okay.
And then dwarves, elves, humans, and then Nagas, which are weird.
I like dwarf, elf, human, tree, reptile, cat, and monster. Those are like the classic races. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty classic fantasy shit right there.
So they actually have like a little bit of like
yes,
story.
and green boobs.
Green
That's
boot-
another
yep.
fantasy trope.
My favorite Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it actually has a little bit of story. From what
Okay.
I've seen, this part is like the literal exact same one as the cat one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So this time I'm playing
So-
a mage Naga,
Okay.
and you start at your house, and then you go
Okay.
to your backyard.
Okay. So how randomly generated is the story? Do you always start at your house and then go to your backyard and then go into the dungeon floor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
So there's
Or-
3 modes.
Okay.
There's the story mode, which is what I'm playing in here. There's also like an endless dungeon mode, or I think it's called challenge dungeon. And I think there might be a sandbox mode, but I'm not entirely sure what that last one was because I didn't look at that closely. Like normal roguelikes, you can hit the X button and it'll like explore for you if that's what you want to do. I don't normally do that, but I thought I would do it here just to show.
Man, I haven't played a roguelike that lets me do that in like years, and I miss it.
Since like Stone Soup.
Yeah, Stone Soup I think is the last roguelike that I played that would allow me to auto-explore, and I miss auto-exploring because what normally happens when I play a roguelike is I will just, like, I don't have auto-explore, so I'll just start mashing the number pad towards whatever direction I want to go, and then I'll run into an enemy, but I'll still be in mash the number pad mode, and then I'll take like 3 or 4 turns with the enemy just wailing on me, and I'm like, oh, I should probably stop mashing the number pad to hit this guy.
Yeah, that'll get you killed in this game.
Yeah. Gets me killed in most games, actually, so,
Yeah.
you know.
This guy starts with like a fire spell, which is kind of cool. Except, something that I didn't realize when I was first playing him is he has a mana system, right? But
Yeah.
unfortunately, your normal basic attacks also count towards that. So
Oh, no.
I kept running out of mana, and then I literally, the only way I could hurt things was by kicking them, and that hurts you too most of the time. So I just
Also,
was
I
like,
don't quite understand how you kick anything because you don't have feet.
Yeah, another thing is you can wear boots. And I'm like, are you wearing one boot like the Flying Dutchman in SpongeBob? Like with his sock?
Yes.
Like I don't know.
Maybe you just have like one big snake boot. It's like one boot that goes over your whole lower body.
Maybe you just like strap boots to like the middle of your tail.
Maybe you just carry the magical boots on your person and they make you slither faster.
So it was at this point that I went into the inventory and I was like, okay, I need to equip a sword or something. And then I realized I did not have any other weapons on me. So I was like, oh crap, well, guess I'll just run around and wait for my mana to regen.
You know, I feel like a staff should have its like own basic magic attack, right?
It does have a ranged magic attack, but if you're out of mana, it does nothing.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the staff, you should be able to invoke the staff for no mana to do like even minor damage, even like not even as much damage as like a sword and shield, but like something.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah, but you do have like 2 weapon sets and you can swap between them at any time. So normally I do like bow and arrows and a sword, but this one I did staff and sword.
Oh, you have an overworld.
Yes, the game has an overworld, like an overworld map.
Is the overworld randomly generated?
It is not in story mode.
Okay.
In fact, you have a very much like standard quest. It's like go here.
Okay.
Get the quest, go here, like find the dungeon. It's very, very much that.
So that part is pretty much like it's interesting that we're doing this week because I've been playing Tales of Maj'Eyal. That is like exactly what Tales of Maj'Eyal is. No matter who you play, you get the same fucking quest. You get one starting quest, and then everything after that is exactly the same.
Here's the talent cards. So
Ooh,
these are
you
like
can compress your mana.
Yeah, and these are random, and sometimes they're better than others. You see how that one had like a green border? That one is a more rare card.
Oh, okay.
So it is random in that sense. I got a couple of these random potions that like just will add or subtract randomly. I like using those. What were you gonna say, Thel?
Yeah, those are always fun.
I didn't have anything.
Oh, maybe it was you then. Did you cut me off, Dalsson?
I don't think I did.
Okay, then oh well.
Huh. Weird.
I thought I heard someone cut in, but that's fine. And also my mana went up, and that helped a lot, because 27 is a lot more than 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
being level 2, kind of awesome compared to level 1. The game also...
Although you only have 18 health, is that like a somewhat small amount of health, or an extremely small amount of health?
That seems
I'm not really
about
sure.
average.
Really?
He might scale worse, but initially I feel like I was pretty similar.
All right.
The game
Another
has...
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before I forget, what is this percentage that you have here on the bottom of your character on that map?
I think it's a percentage to be ambushed, but I'm not sure.
Oh. So, okay. Are you in a town now?
Yeah, I'm in the town. I'm selling stuff and then buying some stuff, and then I go to get the quest.
Gotcha.
I think I'm like, this guy sells stuff and you can have him restock. This game does have a hunger system that you have to keep yourself satiated, but you don't want to eat too much because then you'll be full. And like both ends of it have penalties. But I don't find it too bad. You have to make sure you're like keeping track of your rations, but like they are not that expensive relative to the gold you're making, so it's not that bad.
Right. Can you find them down in dungeons too?
Occasionally, but they're not super common.
Okay.
But I haven't really had too much trouble. And usually, it's not too uncommon to find a vendor in just randomly in the dungeon.
Okay.
So
It's kind of like a
like you could use an
Pokemon
extra
mystery
blade.
dungeon type of system with the hunger, where it's like, it's not a big deal, but eventually it'll kill you if you completely ignore it.
I think the only thing that it exists to do is stop you from resting between every fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's for. I think that's what hunger systems are usually for.
Yeah, because it like you can hit R and just rest to full health, but if you do that constantly, then you'll run out of See, here's his boots. Put on a boot. I don't know where the boot goes, but it's in a slot for boots, so okay.
There's a snake in my boot.
I lost my train of thought, but yeah, yeah, I don't know. This game is very, very like roguelitey, or roguelikey. It's probably the most roguelike I've played in a long time. Probably since I played Tales of Majinal.
Which is what
Couple
you
years
never
ago.
even told me you played this game or that game, because I just discovered it recently.
I did tell
To
you,
my
you just ignored me.
unfortunate-
Oh, and I let myself die here just to show you. It has
What
like
happens?
like
Why?
has like a leaderboard.
Why?
Yeah,
You've been playing that character for 7 days?
in game time.
Yeah.
And then there's my other one, and it.
Yes, I'm glad that your snake mage was just named Graveyard Media.
Oh no, it puts you. It's Skelorg, the level 2 male Naga mage. I
Oh.
put Graveyard Media as the like leaderboard name or whatever.
Graveyard Media, the level 2 Naga mage.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Rogue
Alright.
Empire. I think people will know whether or not this looks interesting to them. It's very much a roguelike, but it's not super difficult to get into.
If you're somebody who got into roguelikes on shit like Stone Soup or NetHack, would you recommend this to that person?
I think it's worth a passing glance. It really depends on the person, because I know some people who are into like NetHack and Stone Soup, and they're only into NetHack or Stone Soup. You know what I mean? Like there's certain people who are not willing to play like anything else really.
Right.
Probably not for them, but you know, if you liked Dungeons of Dredmor a lot, this makes a lot of sense to go next to, because it's not super punishing. It's like
Right, but unfortunately I am going to miss the Diggles squeaking whenever I hit them.
it's true. Or getting an achievement for when the game crashes.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah. So that's Rogue Empire. Like, comment, subscribe, join our Discord community. There's a link in the description. And remember, as
Play
always,
Rogue Empire, rock and roll, stay beautiful.